Last week on Options Profits, we increased our exposure with a bullishly biased trade in Encana, ticker ECA, sort of along the lines with Chevron. Stephanie, you just added to Chevron this morning because of that restructuring story. Encana starting right there. Chevron's kind of coming out of that now.
Yeah, you know, the stock has come down 9%. It was a horrible fourth quarter where production fell 3.5%. And that was a real big deceleration from kind of like the flat kind of numbers we had been seeing in the early parts of the year. I think it was a perfect storm of bad. I think that they haven't had enough results from their assets that they've been pouring tons of money into. So they're spending all this money on CapEx and they're not seeing the results yet. I think that's a late 2014-15 event when you start to see the production turn, and I want to be in the stock beforehand.
So if you expect the CapEx to come down for 2014, you expect operating leverage to certainly go up. So that's really where the key is in the story.
Exactly, and I think that, again, coupled with the 9% decline in the stock, you get a 3.5% dividend yield. April, typically they raise their dividend, so I think you get the dividend boost as well. So I think you have a couple of things here in the short term. You may not get the production growth like in Encana, but we have other energy assets that have more growth, more beta. We kind of wanted a high quality one with a dividend.
So it sounds like it might even be a sector story because you recently increased energy in the Action Alerts Plus portfolio.
We did, and it was really a function, again, that these stocks had fallen so much. But at the same time, you've noticed the WTI is up. It's at new highs. Natural gas is up at new highs. So we wanted to have exposure to the companies that would be levered to the commodity price, right? You're going to see these companies are going to print money, I think. So we started to add to the National Oil Well Varcos and the Nobles and the Oxys, and then of course now we have the Chevron as well.
And what did you sell out of to increase the position?
So interestingly enough, we went from big overweight in financials to just market weight in financials. We sold Morgan Stanley. We took gains. I just don't like the way the yield curve is acting in the near term, even if it is temporary, because I do think you're going to have a recovery in the U.S. economy. But the yield curve coming down, I think these stocks underperform in the short term. So we'll look to buy that back in the mid-20s.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Stephanie. For The Street in New York, I'm Jill Malandrino.